The biggest regret for me is not living my life the right way for so long.
Ainsley Earhardt often reflects fondly on her upbringing in the South, but behind her bright demeanor lies a story of early heartache. During her childhood, her family endured financial struggles and personal tragedies that shaped her outlook on life. One of the most devastating moments came when a close family member passed away unexpectedly, leaving a void that never truly healed. Ainsley has spoken about how loss taught her resilience, but few realize how deeply it affected her sense of security and family unity. Her sunny persona on television masks years of hidden grief that began long before she stepped into the spotlight. Those early losses planted seeds of fear about change, abandonment, and uncertainty, issues she continues to work through as an adult. Understanding this part of her past helps explain Ainsley's fierce attachment to family, faith, and tradition, values she now shares with millions of viewers each morning. The struggles of a public divorce. In 2019, Ainsley Earhardt's marriage to former Clemson quarterback Will Proctor ended in a very public divorce. The split was not just emotionally devastating, it played out in the headlines, exposing her private pain to the world. Rumors swirled about infidelity, betrayal, and broken trust, though Ainsley remained tight-lipped out of respect for their young daughter. The breakdown of her marriage came at a time when she was becoming a familiar face to millions of Americans, making it difficult to grieve privately. Friends reported that Ainsley threw herself into work to cope, smiling brightly for the cameras while nursing a shattered heart backstage. She leaned heavily on her Christian faith to find strength during that time, often speaking about forgiveness and healing even as she battled feelings of anger and sadness. Her experience stands as a reminder that fame offers little protection from deep, personal heartbreak. Battling single motherhood in the spotlight. Raising a child alone is never easy, but doing it while under constant public scrutiny is a challenge few can imagine. After her divorce, Ainsley Earhardt became a single mother to her daughter, Hayden. Balancing the demands of a high-profile career with motherhood has been one of her greatest personal battles. Unlike many working moms, Ainsley has had to deal with paparazzi, tabloid rumors, and criticism from strangers, all while trying to maintain a stable and nurturing environment for her child. She has openly admitted that the fear of failing as a mother haunts her, and she constantly worries about how much of her busy schedule pulls her away from her most important role. Friends close to her say Ainsley often sacrifices her own personal happiness to ensure Hayden feels loved and protected. Her story resonates with many single parents who quietly shoulder the same heavy burdens every day. Health scares that changed her outlook. Behind her glowing appearance and boundless energy, Ainsley Earhardt has quietly faced her own health scares over the years. Though she rarely discusses the details publicly, close friends have revealed that she has dealt with frightening medical concerns that forced her to reevaluate her priorities. These experiences reportedly prompted Ainsley to deepen her focus on faith, family, and living each day to the fullest. One particularly terrifying health episode caused her to fear she might not be around to raise her daughter, a thought that filled her with dread. While she eventually recovered, the emotional impact remained, influencing her on-air persona and personal mission. Ainsley has since become a vocal advocate for self-care, preventive medicine, and maintaining a strong spiritual foundation during times of crisis. Her journey serves as a powerful reminder that even those who seem invincible in the public eye are fighting invisible battles of their own. The pressure of being a conservative female voice. As one of the most recognizable female figures on Fox News, Ainsley Earhardt carries a tremendous burden. The world of political commentary is often brutal, and female hosts are frequently targeted with criticism that male counterparts might avoid. Ainsley has been both praised and attacked for her traditional views, and she has found herself in the crosshairs of intense public debate. Critics have accused her of being naive, overly simplistic, or blindly loyal to certain figures. Comments that cut deeply for someone who takes her role as a journalist seriously. These attacks aren't just political. They are often deeply personal, aimed at her character, intelligence, and appearance. Ainsley has admitted privately that the relentless negativity can be emotionally draining, though she refuses to let it silence her. Remaining strong in the face of constant judgment has required a level of resilience and inner strength that few fully appreciate. Dealing with the death of a mentor. In the early years of her broadcasting career, Ainsley formed a close bond with a mentor who helped shape her path. Tragically, this mentor passed away unexpectedly, leaving her grappling with feelings of loss and directionlessness. Losing someone who believed in her potential left a lasting scar, reinforcing her fears about sudden change and abandonment. In interviews, Ainsley has hinted at how this death made her question her future in the cutthroat world of television journalism. She credits that painful experience with teaching her to trust herself more and to rely less on external validation. Nevertheless, the emotional cost was steep. For Ainsley, every major career milestone has been bittersweet, haunted by the thought that the person who once cheered her on from the sidelines is no longer there to celebrate her victories. The quiet grief over this loss remains one of her most poignant and personal struggles. Facing the pain of miscarriage. In a heartbreaking revelation, Ainsley Earhardt has spoken publicly about suffering a miscarriage during her marriage to Will Proctor. Although she has often kept details private, Ainsley has shared enough to let fans know how devastating the experience was. The loss of a pregnancy not only shattered her dreams of expanding her family, but also introduced a deep sense of grief that she struggled to process. As a woman who had always dreamed of motherhood, losing a child she never got to meet was a blow that left emotional scars. She turned to her Christian faith for solace, believing that everything happens for a reason, even when it is painful beyond words. The experience changed how she views parenting, gratitude, and resilience. It also intensified her devotion to her daughter Hayden, whom she now sees as an even greater blessing. Her story is a sobering reminder that many public figures carry private sorrows hidden beneath polished smiles. Rumors of secret romances and heartbreak. Since her divorce, Ainsley Earhardt's love life has been a constant topic of speculation. There have been persistent rumors linking her romantically to fellow Fox News anchor Sean Hannity, but neither has officially confirmed the relationship. The endless gossip has been both flattering and exhausting for Ainsley, who remains cautious about letting new relationships into the spotlight after the pain of her public divorce. Friends suggest that Ainsley struggles deeply with trust, making it difficult for her to fully open her heart again. The fear of another public heartbreak weighs heavily on her mind. Though many hope she finds love again, Ainsley's guardedness suggests that any future romance would be kept as private as possible. Navigating rumors, betrayal fears, and the intense scrutiny that comes with fame has made her journey toward emotional healing far more complex than it appears on the surface. Struggling with faith amid personal storms. Though Ainsley Earhardt is widely known for her strong Christian faith, there have been times when her spiritual foundation was deeply tested. Friends close to her say that during her divorce and after her miscarriage, Ainsley wrestled privately with questions about why bad things happen to good people. She has admitted in interviews that her faith journey hasn't been a straight line. It's been filled with doubt, anger, and searching. Yet, through every storm, Ainsley found a way to hold on, even when her grip weakened. She credits prayer, scripture, and the unconditional support of her church community for helping her rebuild her spiritual strength. Her story is a raw and relatable reminder that even those who seem to have unwavering belief must fight to maintain it when life falls apart. Ainsley's ability to openly discuss her struggles has inspired many viewers facing similar crises of faith. Isolation behind the camera. While Ainsley Earhardt presents a bubbly, sociable image on screen, those who know her best say she often feels isolated behind the scenes. Fame can be incredibly lonely, and the demands of being a national television figure leave little time for deep personal relationships. After the end of her marriage, Ainsley reportedly withdrew from many social activities, focusing almost exclusively on work and her daughter. Trust is difficult when every new friend might leak private details to the press. Even within the halls of Fox News, where she has many colleagues, Ainsley has often felt like she must maintain a careful distance. This self-imposed isolation has taken an emotional toll, making it harder to form new connections and adding a quiet sadness to her otherwise energetic demeanor. The reality of loneliness behind success is one of the most troubling and human details about her life that many fans never see. Enduring public criticism and harassment. As a prominent conservative media figure, Ainsley Earhardt has endured an enormous amount of public criticism and even harassment. From political opponents to internet trolls, she has been called names, mocked for her views, and even threatened. The emotional toll of constant criticism is something Ainsley rarely talks about, but it's an undeniable part of her reality. Every opinion she shares is dissected, judged, and weaponized by those who disagree. This kind of relentless negativity can wear down even the strongest spirits. Ainsley has revealed that she often relies on a small circle of trusted friends and family members to stay grounded amid the noise. Prayer and therapy have also been important tools in maintaining her mental health. Her ability to keep showing up day after day in the face of such hostility is a testament to her resilience, but it comes at a high personal cost. Coping with a fractured relationship. With her father. Though she often speaks fondly of her upbringing, sources close to Ainsley Earhardt say that her relationship with her father has been complicated at times. Differing political and personal beliefs have reportedly caused tension, creating emotional rifts that are hard to heal. Growing up, Ainsley idolized her father, and she has credited him with instilling many of her core values. However, adulthood, and especially the pressures of fame, have sometimes strained their bond. Reconciling the love she feels for her father with the frustrations of growing apart ideologically has been a painful journey. Ainsley strives to honor her family's importance in her life, but she has also had to learn that love doesn't always mean total agreement. Managing family dynamics under the watchful eye of the public adds another layer of stress, making her quest for family unity even more bittersweet and complicated. Fears about an uncertain future. Despite her outward confidence, Ainsley Earhardt privately harbors fears about what the future might hold. In the volatile world of media, job security is never guaranteed, and the political climate has become increasingly hostile. As a single mother, she worries not just about her career, but about creating a stable life for her daughter. Close friends report that Ainsley sometimes lies awake at night, worrying about everything from financial security to personal safety. She has built an impressive career, but she knows that fame is fickle, and public favor can shift quickly. In addition, as the media landscape evolves, she faces the challenge of remaining relevant while staying true to her values. Despite her fears, Ainsley continues to show up every day, putting her faith in God's plan. Her story reminds us that even the strongest public figures grapple with deep, private anxieties about what tomorrow might bring. The pressure of raising a child. Alone in the public eye after her divorce, Ainsley Earhardt was thrust into single motherhood while still maintaining her career under the intense spotlight of national television. Raising her daughter Hayden has been the greatest joy of her life, but it has also come with crushing pressure. Every parenting decision she makes can be picked apart by critics, and any mistake could be publicly magnified. Unlike most single parents who can grieve, learn, and move on in private, Ainsley must walk this path while the world watches. She has expressed fear over how the constant media attention might impact her daughter's mental and emotional health. Balancing a demanding television career with being a present, nurturing mother has forced her to make unimaginable sacrifices. She has often had to miss important milestones and special moments due to work commitments. Yet she presses on, motivated by her love for her daughter and her deep belief in creating a better future. The burden of doing it all, alone, publicly, and under intense scrutiny, has been one of the most exhausting chapters of her life. It's a silent struggle that many admire from afar, but few truly understand. Enduring betrayal within her inner circle. Trust is sacred for someone like Ainsley Earhardt, but even those closest to her have, at times, betrayed her confidence. Sources have revealed that private conversations, sensitive information, and even personal fears have been leaked to tabloids by people she once considered friends. Each betrayal cut deep, teaching her painful lessons about loyalty and discretion. In a world where fame is currency, Ainsley realized that not everyone around her had pure intentions. Betrayals left her isolated and wary, forcing her to draw tighter circles and second-guess even the most innocent gestures. This emotional armor has protected her from further heartbreak, but has also made genuine connection difficult. Trust, once broken, is not easily repaired, and for Ainsley, every new relationship comes with heavy walls and careful vetting. Living with the constant fear of being hurt again has quietly drained her over the years. These betrayals have shaped her not only as a public figure, but also as a woman who knows that vulnerability comes with a heavy price. Facing judgment for her conservative faith. Ainsley Earhardt has never hidden her Christian beliefs, often speaking openly about her love for God and the role of faith in her life. However, in today's polarized climate, her religious convictions have made her a lightning rod for judgment and ridicule. Critics often dismiss her views as outdated or politically motivated, attacking her not just for her opinions, but for the core of who she is. This constant judgment weighs heavily on her, especially when her intentions are to offer hope and positivity. Even among some fans and media colleagues, there is skepticism or disdain toward her traditional values. Ainsley has had to develop thick skin, but inside, she still feels the sting of being misunderstood. Her struggle is emblematic of the broader cultural clash between personal faith and public acceptance. Behind her unwavering smile is a woman who carries the ache of being ridiculed for simply living her truth. Unspoken grief over lost friendships. As her career soared, Ainsley Earhardt experienced a heartbreaking reality. She lost many old friendships. Some friendships faded due to distance and changing life paths, but others dissolved amid jealousy, resentment, or political differences. Friends from her earlier life who knew her before she was famous have sometimes found it difficult to relate to the pressures and complexities of her world. Meanwhile, within the competitive corridors of media power, authentic friendships are rare. This slow but steady erosion of her social support system left Ainsley feeling abandoned at times. She has mourned these relationships in private, carrying the unspoken grief of bonds that once brought laughter, comfort, and unconditional support. Today, she keeps her personal circle tight, but not without feeling the deep scars of friendships that couldn't survive the changes success inevitably brings. Her journey reminds us that sometimes chasing your dreams means losing pieces of your past that you never intended to let go. The fear of being replaced in a ruthless industry. In the unforgiving world of broadcast media, Ainsley Earhardt lives with a daily gnawing fear, being replaced. No matter how successful or beloved a television host becomes, the reality of aging in a youth-obsessed industry is brutal. New, younger faces constantly emerge, eager to take the spotlight. Behind Ainsley's camera-ready poise is a woman deeply aware that television fame is fleeting. She has worked tirelessly to stay relevant, sharpening her skills, refining her image, and pouring her heart into every appearance. Yet, there is always a quiet dread that it could end abruptly. Not because of any failure on her part, but simply because of changing trends or shifting network priorities. That fear has driven her to work harder than ever, but has also added an invisible weight to every broadcast. Her ongoing success is a testament to her resilience, but the fear of sudden obsolescence never fully leaves her mind. Silent battles with anxiety. Despite her cheerful demeanor, Ainsley Earhardt has fought silent battles with anxiety. The pressures of fame, motherhood, public criticism, and personal heartbreak have all contributed to internal storms that she rarely shows the world. Friends say she sometimes experiences sleepless nights, racing thoughts, and overwhelming moments of fear about the future. Rather than succumb to these emotions, Ainsley has built a personal toolbox of coping mechanisms, from prayer and therapy to physical exercise and meditation. She has learned to manage her anxiety without letting it define her public persona. But the truth remains. Behind her composed exterior is a woman bravely fighting invisible battles each day. Her experience is a reminder that mental health struggles do not discriminate, touching even those who seem to have it all from the outside. By continuing to show up authentically, she offers quiet inspiration to others facing their own hidden anxieties. Dealing with health scares in private. Though rarely discussed publicly, Ainsley Earhardt has faced a few health scares over the years that have left her shaken. Minor but alarming health incidents reminded her how fragile life can be, and how quickly everything she's built could be jeopardized. Out of fear of media overreaction, Ainsley chose to keep most of these experiences private, relying only on close family and a few trusted doctors. Each scare, however small, brought renewed urgency to her desire to live purposefully, treasure time with her daughter, and deepen her faith. Health fears forced her to reassess priorities, focus on self-care, and accept that even strong women sometimes need to slow down. While she has thankfully avoided major health crises so far, the specter of vulnerability haunts her. It's a silent weight she carries, a reminder that life's certainties can vanish without warning, and that even at the peak of success, health remains the true foundation of everything. Financial strains behind the glamorous image. Though Ainsley Earhardt enjoys significant success, the financial realities of divorce, single motherhood, and the high cost of living have taken a hidden toll. Maintaining a public image of affluence sometimes masks the behind-the-scenes budgeting, planning, and stress that come with providing a stable life for herself and her daughter alone. Legal fees from her divorce, ongoing child-rearing expenses, and the pressure to maintain appearances in high-profile circles have created financial strains not often visible to the public. She is fortunate compared to many, but the realities of solo financial responsibility are heavy nonetheless. Ainsley has learned to be a careful steward of her resources while quietly fearing any career instability that could threaten her daughter's future. Her financial worries humanize her, revealing a woman juggling real-world responsibilities behind the scenes, just like millions of other single parents across America. The emotional toll of being a role model, Ainsley Earhardt's visibility as a national figure and outspoken Christian, has made her a role model for countless viewers, but it's a role that carries immense pressure. Every misstep, every word, every decision is scrutinized not only through the lens of journalism, but also through the expectations of being a moral example. The weight of needing to be perfect can be crushing. In private moments, Ainsley has confided that she sometimes feels suffocated by the fear of letting people down. She wants to be authentic, vulnerable, and real. But the fear of disappointing her audience often forces her into a polished, pressure-filled version of herself. Living under the burden of being seen as a perfect example has robbed her of certain freedoms and deepened her self-doubt. It's an invisible struggle, the desire to be relatable, while being trapped by the pedestal others have placed her on. Lingering regrets about life choices. As much as Ainsley Earhardt loves her daughter and values her career, she privately carries a handful of regrets about choices made along the way. She sometimes wonders what life might have looked like had she pursued a different path. Maybe focusing more on personal happiness than career ambition, or choosing a quieter life away from television. Regrets about marrying young, trusting too easily, and prioritizing work over relationships occasionally haunt her. These reflections do not diminish her gratitude for what she has achieved, but they add a layer of bittersweet complexity to her story. Like many people, Ainsley grapples with the what-ifs and might-have-beens that shape adulthood. Acknowledging these regrets makes her more human, showing that even the most successful lives are marked by second guesses and roads not taken.